Now, these things that you're experiencing, you've seen with other girlfriends or wives of military members who have been struggling and how it's affected them. I mean, the guys come back and we see them, like your husband, definitely affected by the experiences that they went through. They're self-medicating, they're taking drugs, they're having a difficult time sleeping, having nightmares, flashbacks, all the things that are normal reactions to post-traumatic stress type issues. But what we're seeing and why we're even, wanting to assist other family members is we're seeing this happening within the family because of the experiences that their service member has gone through.
They expect it from the military members. They expect that they're going to need counseling and all of those things, but they're not preparing the families. They aren't telling us to expect all of these big, bad, scary things. They're not telling us that there are tools and resources out there. If there are out there, I really don't know.
No, there are some. I got to tell you, over the last 10 years, we've really seen a shift in the culture and the thinking about this. The problem is that it's this aircraft carrier, and so even though you've got some people at the top, you've got some senior enlisted people who've got this figured out, and they're trying to shift the direction, it's a very slow process. It's a huge organization.
I was very ill prepared for what I got this time around.
Right.
I was very ill prepared to deal with his issues.
And it's not even just his issues, is it?
Mm-mm.
The stress and trauma that the family members themselves go through.
On a normal day, just the separation alone is traumatic. And then to throw all of these outside worldly things in there into the mix makes it almost unfathomable.
Plus the fear that we know that, because we see on the news, 5 people were killed with an IED today in Afghanistan. And I imagine for a wife and a family member was that my guy? Was that, because we know
the media is all over it. They'll come out sometimes before the families are notified,
right,
which is a very, very scary thing, and you don't want to get that phone call. You don't want
right.
that message. You don't want to know that somebody from your husband's unit was at risk.
And then families are affected that you've seen, some of the families that you live near, where their husband or their service member was so devastated in the things that they went through in Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, that unfortunately we've had a large amount of suicides and many of our service members taking their lives.
They just couldn't cope with what happened or what they had to do.
And you have one
I have a really close friend whose husband came back. He was a Navy gunner and had a very, very traumatic experience, and he came back and over the course of the year ended up taking his own life because he couldn't cope with the devastation in his mind.
And now here's another wife with a young daughter.
And she's, just not doing very well herself. She scares me in a lot of regards because she's not looking for resources to help her get through this one day. She's just kind of living in this.
So there really is a vicarious, traumatic relationship between the service member and their family members.
There is.
In more than one level. One, you've had experiences because they're self-medicating, like your husband, and then we know many instances, unfortunately, of family domestic violence because the alcohol creates unclear thinking, and then normal tensions in a relationship escalate to the point where...
And a lot of times fear manifests itself into anger.
Right.
Which, when you add alcohol into that mix, I don't know that my husband was mad at me per se. He was just mad.
Right.
And I was in the way.
And then they're combining medications for back ailments or physical.
Absolutely.
And then they drink a couple beers with that, and that obviously doesn't help.